The search button can help us find data very quickly. If I click on the search button, you will notice that an area opens up at the bottom of the screen. This provides access to every field in the database and some tools to find specific information. For example, let's say we want to find all customers that require Spanish as a language. Select the search button, move to the bottom of the screen. In the filter field, scroll down until you find language. Now move over to the contains option, which will open up a box where I can type the word that I want. I'm going to type Spanish. I then click on the execute button, and the software will now narrow down only those customers with the word Spanish in the language field. This can be a very powerful tool for finding information. The data is saved as soon as you click on another customer. Let's expose all of our customers again. I'm just going to click on first letter, all, execute, and I now have access to all my records again. Let's try putting in a credit limit on Adam's family. If I put in 1500 and I select the next record, that information is saved to the system. I can also save information by entering it and then clicking on the Save button. That information is now saved as well. If I make some changes to a record, let's say I change the credit limit to 1500, I change their credit balance to 500, and then I decide that I want to go back to the way things were, as long as the data has not been saved, I can click on my Restore button. It will ask me if I want to discard the changes. If I say yes, it will convert everything back to the way it was. If the data had been saved already by either me clicking on the Save button or clicking on another record, I would not be able to restore the information. I would have to go back in and change it. Deleting information out of the dynamic system is usually handled by making items inactive, and we will cover that later in this training video. It's important to realize, though, that once a record has been entered and been used by any other part of the program, it cannot be deleted. This is done for data integrity reasons. If, for example, we entered a customer and then opened an order for that customer, we would not want to be able to delete that customer and then lose that information on the order. If you simply entered a customer and then made a mistake and felt you wanted to delete it, you could do that. Let's look at the two pieces of information we'll get. Let's go in and try to delete Alabaster Trade. This customer has been used in many records. If I go to delete that record, it's going to come up and ask me, do I want to delete the current record? I'm going to say yes, and I immediately get an error message that will prevent me from deleting that record. Now when I click on OK through the error messages, it will appear as if Alabaster Trade is gone. What I have to do is restore that information by clicking the Restore button. When it asks me, do I want to discard changes, I say yes, and Alabaster will be returned. The system would not allow us to exit out of the customer file until we restored Alabaster Trade. Once we are finished with the customer file, we can use the Close button to exit out of the customer module. We will do that shortly. The bottom set of buttons give us access to other information in the customer file for this specific customer. Whichever customer is indicated by the record marker, we can then look at the addresses, the contacts, or this is where the emails are put, email information is put in, the summary. This is a summary of this customer as to invoicing and shipping history. The profile information, the information that is very specific to this particular customer. Or we can re-access the selection criteria window at this point. The last component of the customer file is the reporting feature. You select Report Customer, and the software will display a list of reports that are available with the customer data. We will cover the specific reports later in this video. Please note that report security is important in the dynamic system, and it is controlled by giving employees and reports security levels. Instructions to set up these security levels is provided in our system administrative training videos.